now, among those who raised your hands, how many of you know what it means? How many of you can tell me what the song means? What the words of the song mean?
To some extent.
Okay, I'm seeing very few hands up, and let me hear from you. Because it's and Professor Bhattacharya, this is an important thing that for us it's the Rahman video. We don't actually know what it means. What does it mean?
The first two stanzas that we actually sing, I think that's more a celebration of the land that we live in. It's a celebration of nature. It's nothing to do with religion. It's something to do with our country.
Okay, let me get Professor Bhattacharya.
Understanding this song, you see,
1 second, sir. Yeah.
as late as 1937,
Yeah.
I find Jawaharlal Nehru writing that he had not read the song until it came up for discussion in the ICC. And then he went on to say that I find it very difficult. And he wanted to get a dictionary to follow what it said.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think he did use a translation of the novel Vande Mataram to understand what it meant. So there are others who have suffered in this way. But this is perhaps because no effort has been made on our part
To make it an accessible song.
accessible.
Swapan, when you talk about certain certitudes of nationhood, beyond the compulsory and the non-compulsory debate, what does it say that none of us really know the meaning of the national song? What the words mean?
I think that really comes down to the whole point of how have we tried to celebrate our nationhood over the years. Now, I think I was very impressed by Bharat Bala when he talked about the big idea of India. And the natural thing that came to him was Vande Mataram, because it epitomized it. And he fleshed it out. He gave it a contemporary touch, which really appealed. And I think here is what it is, innovative methods of actually telling people what are, it's not static, but there are certain fixed certitudes, I insist once again.
Okay.
The national flag, the national symbols, the national anthem, the national song, these are the constitution to some extent.
Abhishek Singhvi, you quoted from a Supreme Court judgment on allowing Jehovah's Witnesses not to sing the national anthem. In Maharashtra today, there is a rule that before the screening of any movie, you have to stand up and sing the national anthem. I come back to the larger point of this debate. Should patriotism be made enforceable? Do you support such a mandatory imposition? I'll just get you, Amrit. Do you support that?
I think yes, for something like the national anthem, which has a statutory backing, and which is a single...
So why do you distinguish between the national anthem and the national
Because there is a distinction
song?
made historically. That's a distinction we live with.
Okay.
It's already been made. That's the... Really speaking, I am agreeing, there's a peculiarity to this whole debate. I am agreeing with almost everything which is said by everyone, save and except one small thing, that whether you should have singing of these two stanzas made compulsory. That's about the only issue. The Vande Mataram is something which we have all sung at different times. Almost everybody has heard it.
Do you know the meaning of the song?
I do. I've read Sri Aurobindo's translation, and the first two paragraphs have absolutely no religious symbolism. The subsequent paragraphs have one sentence, or two sentences rather, which do refer in an imagery form to Hindu gods and goddesses. But that is why this issue stands resolved already.
Kamal Farooqi, does the Muslim Personal Law Board have one position on this letter that was written by Arjun Singh to all chief ministers?
No, in fact, Muslim Personal Law Board has got nothing to do with it.
What do you mean?
It has got nothing to do with it.
There are members of your board that have taken positions.
Members individually, as I am taking a position right now, other members would also be taking the position. But as far as Muslim Personal Law Board is concerned, I want to make this thing very clear. Muslim Personal Law Board has not taken any official view about the whole thing. We are discussing among ourselves. Now, coming back to
when you hear self-appointed spokespeople of India's Muslim get up and say, we will impose a fatwa, we will withdraw our children if they are made to sing this song.
Please try to understand one thing. Fatwa has been misused by everybody, including the media, in such a way. Fatwa cannot be given by every Tom, Dick, Harry. Fatwa has to be given on a specific issue, whether this issue...
So what is your position, your personal
yes,
position?
My personal position is what, number one, it should not be made compulsory. Number two, I have no disrespect for any deity. I have no disrespect. I don't want to say anything against anybody. But at the same time, when it is a question of the nationalism, please also try to understand my sentiments. Yesterday, you wrote a beautiful article. It came in the Hindustan Times. It was a beautiful article. But I just want to show you what, in fact, the effect it has. Would you subscribe to this? Of course, you are not a party to this. I am pretty sure, 101% sure. This is the article.
What are you objecting to?
I am only objecting why this goddess picture is giving. Because goddess picture, it is against my religion. But
But I'm not writing about your
Yes, I
religion,
know.
I'm writing about the song.
No, but I'm sure that you might not have given this
Okay,
picture.
let me get.
What I'm trying to,
Hold up hold up the picture for everybody. There is a picture of a goddess.
Barkha,
Yeah,
could
one
I-
gets Swapan first and then you, Feroz.
all
Yeah.
right.
Mr. Faruqi, I think you must realize that you see goddess and gods pictures all over the country.
Sure.
The presence of those don't necessarily
Absolutely
constitute
sure.
an
That's the-
affront to you.
that's the reason
I don't
I'm-
see
that
why.
is the- no.
I don't see why.
Yes, why? I'm
And
telling you
that
why.
is a reproduction of a poster.
I am
a
just
sort of a
no.
pop poster of the 1940s.
Please understand.
Dr.
I'm saying
Faruqi,
why?
may
I
No,
don't-
please,
may I
because
add
you're asking me very specific.
Why do you see
Why do you
yourself?
find it objectionable?
Why are you
No,
putting this against Islam?
that is the reason, in fact. That is
sir,
the reason. That is the.
One at a time.
That is the
I have
reason.
an answer for that. Just-
Feroz Bakht Ahmed, let me get you in. You teach at modern school. Let me get you in now. Come on.
Now listen.
1 minute.
You know, through this platform, I would like to inform all the Indians that some of my fellow beings, like Mr. Kamal Faruqi, who happens to be a member of the Muslim Personal Law Board, it is because of these people that the poor Muslim community, it has been cajoled time and again, sometimes for terrorism, sometimes for talaq, sometimes for Gulia issue, sometimes for jihad,
think you're
and
digressing.
so many other things. Because of these people, the
Feroz,
Muslim community has
I
fallen
think
into
let us
trouble
not
time and
digress.
again.
Feroz,
that's
1
the-
minute.
that's
And
the
Kamal
problem.
Faruqi, 1 minute. Both of you. I think what's unclear to me is why a pop picture, as Swapan called it, of a Hindu goddess in a song where one of the controversies is a reference to latent Hindu nationalism, which apparently is the reason that some of your clerics object, should trouble you. I think let's hold that because that will become a different debate.
No,
You've
but
made your
it's
point.
an important debate
Yeah,
because
let
you
me get-
see,
yeah.
if you object to the representation of the country in the form
Goddess.
that you have shown,
Yes.
call it a goddess, call it a woman, I do not know.
No, it's a
but,
goddess. It's a Durga, but
in
it's
the, you know, if you should also object to the term motherland. Or to the term fatherland, because these are representations also in words rather than in an image. So you see, once you begin this process of purging our imagination of symbols we have used for
Centuries.
generations, centuries, it becomes damn difficult, you know,
Okay.
to see anything.
And
One
so many
second,
times the
one
same
second.
newspaper.
Just a minute,
Sure.
I actually need to take a break. We still haven't heard from our school principals. And I want to ask you before we go into a break, I didn't see whether you raised your hand when you said you knew how many people knew the meaning of the song.
Oh, absolutely.
You do?
I first learned it again before I went into this project. Vande Mataram.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll ask Bharat Bala, beyond the politicians and the politics, how did he handle his conflict, if at all, with the fact that it may be perceived to be more about Hindu nationalism than nationalism. Also, is there really such a definitive distinction between the two entities as we understand them? We'll look at that after the break. On We the People today, should the singing of Vande Mataram be made mandatory in schools? We've heard from many of the panelists, but not from the school principals. Lata Vaidyanathan, modern school. I mean, I learned the song in school. Does it still continue to have Vande Mataram as one of the songs that is by ritual taught to all students?
I think you're saying it very correctly because it's not just, perhaps during your time you sang 2 versions. Today we are singing all the 3 versions for the
What
past
are all the
7
3
years.
versions?
The Vande Mataram in its first tune, the second one the faster tune, and the third one the A.R. Rahman's. So we are singing it all. And the children would never think that 15th August celebrations is complete without this. 150 children in a choir sing this song so beautifully and dance to it that for us it's come to stay as the penultimate of the celebrations besides what the children have to say.
Was there any pause ever as we begin to deconstruct things around us more closely that perhaps Muslim students or Christian students, students who are not Hindu may feel differently about the
I
song?
don't think so completely. I think this 150 students who sing this as a choir have all kinds of students. Modern school, or for that matter, any school never makes a difference with students in their communities, their religions. That's absolutely unimportant for us. And over the last 20 minutes of the debate we have been hearing BJP, we have been hearing Congress, their different views. And the political connotation to this is really disastrous. I sometimes ask myself, after 100 years of the song and after close to 60 years of our independence, are we creating environments for children to feel proud of being an Indian? Let them develop the nationalistic spirit the patriotism that they need to display. It's not just about
it's not a
displaying.
conflict for you?
It's absolutely no conflict. It doesn't matter. I completely agree with Mr. Bala. The fact that, you know, it doesn't really matter, the emotional nature of it. When you send children abroad on some summits and some kind of student exchange program, if you ask them, what is it that you want to take with you? The first thing they say is, we would like to take the song and dance of Vande Mataram.
Okay.
So that to them represents the national symbol, the national spirit.
I actually have a,
And what
before I get Annie, and I want to ask Abhishek Singhvi, you who've taken the position that it should not be compulsory. In some ways, when a child studies in school and it becomes part of the school ritualism, it becomes compulsory. I mean, a child doesn't get up and say, I don't want to learn this song. It is almost part of the syllabus.
That's not what I meant. In fact, she proves
That's
the
a
point.
kind of compulsory.
She's proving exactly the point which I said.
No, isn't that a
Listen,
kind of compulsory?
If you ask her or you ask any of the school principal, are they singing this successfully, joyously, so many decades, so many years, and sending troops? Because there is a diktat from some government saying, you, each school, shall sing it? Or are they doing it because they're doing it volitionally?
But there wasn't
the
a
answer is
diktat.
clear.
It was just to
they
mark,
are doing it because it is part of the
It was just to mark one day. It was just to mark one day. The
That's
letter
exact point.
originally.
Don't. Let me give you a very quick example. In the old days, we used to have periodic diktats. In the South, you shall speak in Hindi. What did it do for Hindi? It did nothing. Today, the biggest subsidiary benefit of the media revolution is that all people from the South and the North, especially because there are more Hindi channels than English channels, speak in Hindi easily, comfortably.
So if it's allowed to happen
the
naturally,
whole idea
that's
is
okay.
volitional, in a natural, and it's happening.
Okay.
It is already happening.
Okay, Annie, I want to get you. I want to get you in because I have an observation about mainstream schools, which is that there are songs with latent Hindu references. There are many, many Catholic songs, but I haven't actually seen a spillover of Islam into the mainstream prayers or the songs that we learn at school. Is that problematic? Do you share Lata's view that don't think about this too much? Basically, I mean, kids aren't into this kind of academic deconstruction.
Well, first of all, I want to say, like Mr. Farooqi started off when you weren't here, that there's aur bhi gum hai zamane mein, apart from this, and it's horrifying that Parliament is debating about Vande Mataram when people are dying all over the place, and there's more to debate. Secondly, the concept of education is not about compulsion. I don't know whether education was any different when, we were in school, but at least today, we try to get children to be critical thinkers, to be rational, understanding people.
So therefore, if a kid got up, therefore, if a kid who reads the papers
no,
got
to the
up
larger
and said,
good, Barka, let me finish. What I mean is, compulsion is not the name of the game. The name of the game is trying to understand the meaning of it. What's wrong with it? We sing so many songs. Nationalism is not made up of one song. You're talking about Catholic songs or Christian songs. We sing n number of songs. Vande Mataram is only one of the songs. I think what Parliament should wonder, why does Delhi sleep on 15th of August? We all raise the flag on 14th. Schools are closed on 15th of August here.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
are we not
Bharat,
worried about that?
Can I get you in now? I mean, in some ways, this whole notion of pop patriotism. Swapan Das Gupta would argue that there's certain certitudes of nationhood. Abhishek Singhvi says the national anthem should be compulsory, but not the national song. The larger sentiment is, can patriotism be enforced?
See, I think today patriotism is, I think, a vital necessity for such a large nation. We have different languages, different cultures, different religion. The one binding factor for an emotion, for building a new India, is patriotism and pride. Let's not divide that by issues of religion or by political means.
I just need to come in for a minute.
Yeah, Lata.
I want to say that just you hear it from the children. One of the students during this 15th August celebration said, "Hum Hindu ban gaye, Musliman ban gaye, Sikh ban gaye, Bengali ban gaye, Madrasi ban gaye, North Indian ban gaye, South Indian ban gaye, hum Bharatiya kab banenge, hum achhe nagrik kab banenge." So I think these are the questions that need to be answered, and I don't think we must raise a generation which is going to talk about this exactly another 10, 20 years hence.
All right,
I think this debate must conclude here.
That simple. There are all sorts of latent insecurities that underline the construction of a nationhood. So let's get a question in.
Baka, there is a difference between patriotism and militant Hindu nationalism as propagated by Mr. Swapan Das Gupta. Why a particular, when you are imposing a particular thing which is dead against the basic tenet of a particular religion.
I didn't see you raise your hand when I said who knows the words of Vande Mataram. You didn't raise your hands. You don't even know the words. How do you know it's against Islam?
I know that Vande Mataram means,
How do you know?
We do Vandana of the Matarbhumi. See, according to Islam, we should love the land in which we live. But the basic tenet, the basic kalima of Islam is La ilaha illallah. None has the right to be worshipped except one Allah. And if any Muslim recites anything which or worships anything besides Allah, one universal
So what did you
God,
feel about A.R.
it is
Rahman? What did you feel about A.R. Rahman?
It is considered as the biggest sin in Islam.
Okay,
I'm saying,
one
my
second.
question.
No, one second, you made your point.
Let me
Yes.
answer him. You see,
Okay.
Barkha, I have to otherwise, listen.
Okay, you're all speaking
wrong message
together.
will go.
You're all speaking together. Kamal, now you've made your point. One second, no, one sentence. Hang on. You've made your question, now you keep quiet. Kamal,
First, what Dada said, I totally agree with you. As far as Madre Watan is concerned or motherland is concerned, my religion says it is one of the most important thing. Mazhab ye batlata hai कि you have to love the country. You cannot be a good Muslim if you don't love or you don't have the respect for the country. Number one. So, let me complete. Why I did raise this issue, not because of any other reason. I know the article, I have gone through the article, it is a fantastic article. The moment we try to link the complete nation with a religion or with a deity, there is a problem. So my religion, if it does not allow me, as my brother said, it does not allow me to
You are relating
listen,
to
no,
you're holding my space.
One second.
Yeah.
I just want to bring something, I just want to express here
I'm just getting on with it.
that in 98, I traveled around the world on a series of meeting all the Nobel Peace Prize winners as a part of the expansion of the Vande Mataram project. So I filmed with Nelson Mandela, Gorbachev, Yasser Arafat, Shimon Peres, and I explained what is Vande Mataram. So as a message of peace, Arafat said Vande Mataram, Gorbachev said Vande Mataram, Nelson Mandela said Vande Mataram, Shimon Peres said Vande Mataram. If you divide it by religion, one is a Jew, one is a Christian, one is in Islam, nobody thought about it. When we said it's about motherland, we just, the emotion for motherland.
Do you support the compulsory invocation of the
I don't
anthem in Maharashtra's cinema halls?
I think I support two things. One, compulsory education and compulsory,
Absolutely right.
compulsory education. That is the only thing which I support.
Okay.
And I think if, for example, it's not compulsion, let's put it this way, unless you bring out continuously the ideas like this,
It'll be
people
forgotten.
don't, otherwise they'll forget. Otherwise we'll be saying
Okay, I'll
only
listen again, Amrit
Hindi
Srinivasan
film
is the point.
songs.
The whole debate is missing the actual point that this is a commemorative event. Because you're talking of the controversy. I'm sorry, let's come back to that. We're not talking of patriotism per se. We're talking about the fact why this is being used to commemorate an event. If that is the case, are we so poor in imagination that what people are anyway doing, that singing, is being used to commemorate the 100th, whatever it's called, centenary? We should have other things going on too.
Why? That could be argued the other way around as well. Why?
The fact is, there is, I'm a sociologist, commemoration is a part of human society. There's been no modern society which has been without commemoration. Of course, tribal societies have commemoration, whether it's parades.
So why can't Vande Mataram? It is to commemorate Vande Mataram. So why should it be another song?
No, not a song. Why can't we have other things? Why don't we have essay competitions? Why don't we have awards? Why don't we have marches? And why school children? No, may I speak? Because I've not had a chance to speak as yet. I'm an educationist too, of the higher age group. I think there's something suspect whenever the school group is chosen. And remember that this is done only, this dictum that was sent out by the minister was only for state schools. Now, I want this educated audience to think about that. What is the need for a dictum like that to go out to schools?
Okay, let Mr. Singhvi respond.
I want to make 2 points. One on a point of clarification. For the last 1 year, which is the centenary year of this national song, a huge series of activities have taken place, diverse from merely singing it. There have been exhibitions, there have been awareness campaigns, there have been distribution of literature, and that is the whole purpose of a high-powered committee which is celebrating the centenary year. At the end of the centenary year on 7th of September, this was suggested. It was then realized that for all these years, it has always been sung, but not in a compulsory diktat manner. So it was simply clarified it won't be compulsory. That's all that happened.
All right.
Now, the second point I want to make is, I think the, just one more point very quickly. The national song has been, the national song,
people like us also.
the national song has been,
Let me just finish
the
this
national
point.
song has been a great success story in this country. It is alive and kicking and very popular. And I don't
But
think
yet you are
you can
defensive
enforce,
about one
I
commemoration.
don't think you can enforce patriotism by diktats.
Okay.
I think the very premise is wrong, that you must wear it on your sleeve and tom-tom it, as if without tom-tomming it, you are not a patriotic Indian.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. I need to take a break. In the last segment, all the people who are wanting to speak, but also, where do you stop if it's not enforceable? I'm still not clear why we should stand up before the screening of a Hindi film and sing Jana Gana Man. What's the difference? Does the answer lie in the past? And if so, why can't things appropriate new meanings and new contexts? We'll look at that in the next segment. On We the People today, is India still defensive about her national song, and is that because it has a contentious history? Can we not move on beyond the history? Though people have tried, has that really worked? Before we go back to our panelists, let's get some comments from the audience.
In my 5 years at modern school Barakhamba Road, I honestly do not remember a time when Vande Mataram was sung apart from Independence Day celebrations. No one sang Jan Gan Man. There have been times in the assembly where the song has been stopped because no one sang it. The song is not taught in school. Only on Independence Day celebrations is it sung, and it's only mentioned in the school diary. That's it.
I don't think you are right. I taught you.
Yeah, as a Muslim, I think this song, the national song, should be taught in school, and we should know the meaning of this beautiful song. Because I was shocked to know that, most of us didn't know the meaning of the song, and we are, hearing this big debate about it. So I think this song should be taught in school, and it should not be made compulsory, but it should be taught in school, and we should know the meaning of this song.
Okay, so it should be taught but not enforced.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today, I just want to ask Mr. Singhvi and Mr. Farooqi, it started with religion. Today, about Vande Mataram. In Jana Gana Mana, there are representations of parts of India, Dravid, Utkal, Banga, Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha. 5 years from now, somebody will raise a point. Our region is not represented. So you'll ban, you will say national anthem should not be there. The people will have.
Yeah, it's slightly facetious, the argument.
This is the point well made, because there is, for instance, Bharata Bhagya Vidhata.
Yes.
Here is obviously the conception of a divine entity, and one could say that this is not sufficiently secular. One can go on. I think the basic question is what kind of creation, what kind of creativity is at work, which can touch the imagination of people to arouse the feeling of patriotism. And I do not think that this habit of the government to issue instructions of various kinds is always very useful. In this instance, I'm happy that they have not made it compulsory. But perhaps even the instruction that it should be done should have been redundant, because, as we were told earlier, perhaps somewhat optimistically, it comes naturally.
Okay.
And that would be a good thing.
Okay, how did it swap that seems a fair point, that in a way, patriotism has to be about imagination. It has to be about a leap of faith. It isn't about a rule book. So, when it comes down to it, as what they said, you started constructing the national anthem, but where does this stop? Why enforceability?
This enforceability is one of Arjun Singh's great things, and this usual sarkari कार्यक्रम, whether it's September 7th, otherwise we didn't know. Vande Mataram's importance is greater than September 7th.
Okay.
But the important question is, should patriotism be devoid of all pre-existing cultural symbols? And when you take into account cultural symbols, each of those cultural symbols have a certain baggage, which is their tied to our nation, to the way we live. And to try and make everything, sanitize everything through a laboratory, and have every symbol, everything, without any form of something smelling
or religion. Culture.
Because our culture includes religion, and it's not merely Hindu faith alone. It includes everything. For thing, to my mind, strikes me as very dangerous.
Okay, we're almost out of time. Kamal Farooqui, I have a question for you. As Amrit said, it is about a commemorative event. Now, you could debate whether this is the best way to commemorate it, but some would ask, why does it cause such concern that one day in, I don't know how many years, school children are asked, even if by the government, to sing the song once?
Whether it is one day or forever.
Why?
Whether it is one day or forever. Why it should be made compulsory. Most of the, nobody has objected to Rahman. Most of the Muslim students sing it, but the moment you make it, link it with a particular scheme of thoughts, then there is a problem. The moment you link the whole patriotism to a particular religion, then there is a problem.
Farooqui, you are doing something very dangerous.
I know, the same thing you are doing here. The same thing you are doing here.
Problem is with your mindset.
Okay, you're shouting.
You have an unfortunate,
1 second.
you have a ghettoist mindset.
Okay.
You know, I never sang this song in school, but I'm as patriotic as Indian as Swapan or anybody else.
Yes, very good.
Why should this be a litmus test for your nationalism?
Yes, absolutely.
Don't reduce it to this. This is a beautiful song. Let's enjoy it, but don't shove it down anybody's throat. They should not be a litmus test. You know? 60 years after independence, people shouldn't be asked to prove your nationalism.
Okay, I mean, last word. I'm out of time.
I just want to say that if this was the rallying cry for independence, to unify the country, why would we want to do something that would divide? I mean, you're not saying, why can't you sing it compulsory? I'm saying, if it hurts him, why do you want to force it?
If a student got up and said to you, after watching this show, I don't want to sing this song, you would say what?
It doesn't work like that in schools, Barkha. It doesn't work anywhere like that. You don't
That's
say,
true.
let me see who all are singing, put up your hand. You don't say that kind of nonsense. The song sings, let's sing it, children. Somebody's singing, somebody's sleeping, somebody's falling. This is what is happening.
Okay.
In fact, there is
Last word.
the supreme irony in this.
Yeah.
The supreme irony is that those who are endorsing and voting so strongly for the national song are doing it the greatest disservice by making it compulsory. It is living and thriving and prospering precisely because it is not compulsory. And that is why it has the status today which it does have. If you do the reverse and you make it compulsory, it will lose that status.
All right. Some would say that compulsory is a big thing and one day in the year is a small thing. Last word to you on this show.
The basic point is government can have subcommittees, etc., and say we are celebrating it. But most important is the right idea and how creatively you can execute and engage the people. So I was not supported by the government when we did Vande Mataram. So it had an idea, it had an emotion. People loved the idea, it became a big idea. So leave it to the people to commemorate or celebrate any motives or any ideas about India, and let government do its job. That's it.
Okay. All right. I think that sums up the debate quite reasonably. With that thought, and in the hope that we'll finally learn the words of this song, but not sponsored by the government of India. We close the program with that thought. Thank you very much.